Up next, Consol, only here on
รายการต่อไปนี้เป็นรายการทั่วไปสามารถรับชมได้ทุกวัย
Good day, fellow mentors, and mabuhay sa inyong lahat! Welcome to the new normal reporting here in Consol Technology for Teaching and Learning. Consol stands for Continuing Study via Online. By the way, I am John Mark Lapis, and for today's episode, we are about to discuss visual media. So without further ado, let's get started. So guys, have you ever heard this idiom before? A picture is worth 1,000 words. So what does it mean for you? Okay, well it means that a picture can express different ideas in the same way with large amount of descriptive words. So let's say for example, an image of a father who isn't eating because he can afford only one meal for his daughter. This image gives us different impressions, right? Also different emotions, stories, and interpretations. Like from that given image, we can interpret father's love and sacrifice. This example has something to do with our topic today, all about the visual media. But before that, let us briefly discuss what is visual. Okay, when we say visual, anything like pictures that is used to make something more appealing or easier to understand, meaning pictures that is used to show or explain something. Next, we have the word media. Okay, the term media is the plural form of medium, refers to the communication channels through which we disseminate news, music, movies, education, promotional messages, and other data. So if we are going to combine the word visual plus media relating to education, then it simply means images, pictures, and graphic organizers that are being used in the classroom. Primary example for this is the visual aids that encourage learning and make learning easier and motivating. But you know what guys? For me, the best visual aid in teaching is us, teachers. Why? Because we teachers can do a lot of things. We are versatile and resourceful. Like for example, if walang available ng mga authentic materials, for sure mag-a-act yung teacher for the students, for them to understand the lesson. With that being said, teachers are indeed great aids for students' acquisition of wisdom. So salute to our teachers. Also, we have what we call visual literacy, meaning to say we have the ability to interpret images. Like from what we have done earlier, proudly we can call ourselves visual literate. But according to Christopher Son, visual literate students should possess the following. Number 1, interpreting skills, understanding, and appreciating the meaning of visual messages. So if you are a visual literate student, you have the ability to assess, you are able to comprehend, and you are able to recognize the main message of a certain work or masterpiece. Next, we have communicating more effectively through applying the basic principles and concepts of visual design. So in this case, you have the awareness of basic principles and concept of visual design, such as the contrast, the balance, space, and the likes. Later, someone will be going to dig into that. However, having the knowledge of basic principles and concepts of visual design creates something that is aesthetically appealing or pleasing. And that certain work has a message to say that transcends to people or viewers. Next, we have producing visual messages using the computer and other technologies. So you're able to integrate the computer and other technologies in producing visual messages. So some of common types of visual communication that we are using in classrooms are infographics, presentations, charts and graphs, visual reports, and many more. Next, using visual thinking to conceptualize solutions to the problem. Visual thinking is an incredibly powerful tool that can help learners solve any problem and develop unique, innovative ideas that give us the ability to think broadly and take action to address specific problem. And that's what visual literate learners must possess. And now, let's move on to the purposes of visuals according to Smaldino. Number 1, provide a concrete referent for ideas. Yes, it is, because visuals are more easily to remembered as compared to words as referent for ideas. Next, we have make abstract ideas concrete. It's simply because learners are able to experience itself, and that's make abstract ideas concrete. They are able to apply and build bridges to difficult concepts. Next, motivate learners. It really does motivate learners. Why? Having visuals inside the classroom captivates students' attention and motivates them to learn. Also, as teachers, we should understand learners who prefer to taught visually. That's why we should apply balance of learning styles inside the classroom to cater all the needs of the students in the learning process. Next, we have direct attention to important points. So in using visuals, you'll be able to observe every detail in a work of art. Same as with learning. It helps us direct the attention to the points that are most important, or what does an art wants to convey to the audience. No? Parang direct to the point. Next, we have repeat information. Repetition serves as consistency. By what? By making it more obvious of what the visual would like to convey or give emphasis to. Next, we have recall prior learning. So with visuals, this helps students to recall or reactivate the necessary prior knowledge or experiences that are stuck in what we called schema. Now, to understand and apply those stuck knowledge to the new lesson. Next, we have reduce learning effort. Yes, I believe so. Because visuals indeed reduces learning effort because a single picture itself explains 1,000 words, or it already says a lot, and you don't need to read lengthy of essays, books, or articles for you to understand a subject. But using visuals give us the idea, knowledge, and somehow explanations without reading words. Trivia lang guys, human process visual 60% times faster than text. So imagine that. In visuals, it's very fast, unlike in words that will takes you more time to process. And now, let's proceed to the examples of visual media that I know you're all familiar with. So let's start with pictures. Next, videos. We have infographics. Another, we have graphic advertisements. Next, we have charts and graphs. And these are some of the examples of visual media. But before I end my part, I will leave you a quote from John Steinbeck that says, "Teaching might even be the greatest of the art, since the medium is the human mind and the spirit." And that's it guys. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you learned something from my part, and Kylie Cabezas will continue to discuss the categories of visuals.
Good day everyone, my name is Kylie Cabezas, and here are the categories of visual. Realistic visuals. Visuals that shows the object or subject under study. For example, wheel, apple. Mnemonic visuals. These are patterns, ideas, or association that helps you remember something. It aids your memory. For example, kapag nakita natin ang Roy G. Biv ay maiisip natin na ito ang kulay ng rainbow. We have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Analogical visuals. Visuals that convey a concept or topic by showing something else or implying similarities. For example, is this. Instead we give the whole world, we showing something else that has similarity. Organizational visual. These visuals show qualitative relationship among the main point or concept in textual materials, such as flowcharts, maps, graphs, schematics, and classification charts. Relational visual communicates quantitative relationship. The example for these are pie graph and bar graph. Transformational visual. Visual illustrate movement or changes over time. For example for this is time lapse. From caterpillar to butterfly, from seed to tree. Interpretative visual. It illustrates theoretical or abstract relationship. For example of these are the DNA. For example of this is DNA. It explains the circulation of blood throughout our body. Decorative visuals are things added to spice up the message but serve no useful instruction purposes. The example of this is the design that makes your output presentable or appealing to the viewers. Those are the categories of visuals. Again, my name is Kelvin Cabezas and thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Aryan Faye Banyares and my topic is all about the basic elements in designing visual. So the first element in designing visuals is the lines. So what is lines? Lines connect two points and can be used to help define shapes, make divisions, and create texture. Also, it is a one-dimensional structure device that attracts attention by moving the eye around or to a specific area. It suggests action, direction, and movement. So what are the types of lines? So we have 5 types of lines. First is the straight line, the vertical line, the horizontal line, the diagonal line, and the curved line. So first is the straight line. So straight line convey a message of stiffness and rigidity. The second one is the horizontal line. If in low areas, it reminds the viewers of a horizon. But if it is in the high frame, the viewer feels as the layout seems heavy. It gives a feeling of stability and rest. The third one is the vertical line that implies strength. The fourth is the diagonal lines have a strong stimulating effect. It strongly implies movement, action, and dynamism. And the last one is the curved lines. So give a feeling of motion. It conveys a mood of playfulness, suppleness, and movement. Next, basic elements in designing visuals is the shape. When a two-dimensional line encloses an area, the use of lines, differences in value, color, and texture defines an area. It is also a two-dimensional and can form the outline of object. So first shape is the square. So square is considered a straightforward because of its balance, symmetrical orientation. Second is the rectangle, and this is the most favored shape of the frame for mediated images. Third is the circle. It is the endless rhythmic patterns of time, symbolizing eternity without clear beginnings or endings. Another one is the triangle. This is the most dynamic and active of shapes. And as energetic objects, they convey direction. The next basic element in designing visuals is the color. Color is another powerful element of design. It can stand alone, act as a background, or highlight other elements in your design. Color are used to create emphasis on important details, differentiate items from the rest, create depth, and help organize information. They can also enhance and enrich your visual design and suggest moods and indicate movement. Cool colors are those colors that is color blue, green, and violet. These are colors which appears to recede from the viewers, while warm colors are color red and orange. These colors appears to approach the viewer. You know what? Bergeron 1990 found out that learners recall longer what they see and read, and the blue elements receive less of the learner's attention, and they use yellow to highlight important parts or key words in the visual. So the next basic elements in designing visuals is the texture. So it is how a surface feels or it is perceived to feel. It can be used to give emphasis, provide separation, or enhance unity. Texture can create a more dynamic, visually appealing experience. The next basic elements in designing visual is the typography and form. Typography refers to which fonts are chosen, the size to be used, alignment of elements, color, and spacing. And form applies to all objects in 3 dimensions. It also describes their mass and volume. Now that we have the knowledge, I hope we feel empowered to create meaningful, impactful, and successful designs. Thank you so much and God bless everyone!
Good day everyone! The topic was given to me was the first 5 of the important principles of creating visual design. The unity, gestalt, space or what space, hierarchy, and balance was worked together to create something amazing that makes sense to the users. Every principle that I mentioned has a purpose, or let's say it has an individual role in making a visual design. For example, the unity. Obviously, from the word of unity, it unifies all other principles with a piece of work. Second, the role of gestalt is describe how the human eye perceives visual elements. The third, space, which implies rhyme and movement. The fourth one is the hierarchy, which designer used to show the importance of pages content. And the last one is the balance, which is focused on the equal distribution of elements and informal and asymmetrical balance. So that as you can see, every part of the principle has main role in education world. Thank you.
I will continue. So, contrast. Make some elements stand out. So, sinasabi dito is manap ka ng mas mahigit pa sa iyong ginawa. So, next is scale. Specify the range of sizes. So, it's specific the sizes of an item in relation to another item. So, dito is tinutukoy dito is yung laki ng iyong kung may kaugnay ba ito sa other items. So dominance focuses on having a single element as the main focuses which captures the reader's attention. So dito is nakapaloob dito is yung makakakuha ng atensyon ng readers na nagbabasa. So this is often done through intensifying the color, placing objects in strategic places, using lines and other characteristics. So para makuha mo ang attention ng reader, gamitin ang color, placing object in strategic places, using line and the characteristic para makuha ang atensyon ng mambabasa. So, next is similarity. Refers to creating continuity throughout a design. So, dito is the word similarities is pagkakapareho ng item or ang ginawa. So, throughout with a design, kung magkapareho ba ng design. So next is, this occurs when objects look similar to one another which people perceive as a group of or pattern. So yun na nga yung sinabi ko na magkaparehong gawa, kung sa grupo magkapareho ba, or in a work with a pattern. So next is arrangement. So the words arrangement is yung pagkakasunod-sunod or yung pagka-arrange pagkakasunod-sunod, captures the attention of the viewer and should be directed towards the important details or concept. So dito, ang pagkakasunod ng iyong ginawa is para dito sa arrangement is dito makuha ng viewer na maganda ang iyong pagkakadetalye or pagkagawa ng iyong items or iyong ginawang mga ginawa na bagay-bagay na may mga disenyo. Yun lang at maraming salamat.
This portion is brought to you by
เอสโคลาซ่าซีดสุดขั้ว
Good morning everyone and fellow mentors. By the way, my name is Eric John and I'll be discussing the guidelines of designing visuals. So what is the reason or what is the main purpose that why we have a guidelines for designing visuals? So the reason behind is in order to help readers to comprehend the information, because they are able to develop their own perception and to avoid misinterpretation of a concept. So here are the 5 guidelines in order you to design a good and perfect visual media. So the first guideline is about the information or instructional purposes. So you are using a visual whenever possible to illustrate or to generate creating an idea whenever it is possible, and also present a visual media just only a single concept within each visual media. Then of course break down the complex visuals into the simple ones or build them up step by step. For example, if these are instructional information, something like that. And of course minimize text on each visual. So here are the rules of text. So what are the rules? Maximum of 6 words per line and 6 lines per visual. So the second one is graphic or pictures elements. So use only visuals that are not too much in abstract and not too much in realistic, in order to some sort of a visual understandable and readable. And of course use scale or common objects to indicate size of unfamiliar objects. Then also eliminate distracting backgrounds in order the learners or the person are readable of a visual media. And don't forget to use the rule of the thirds. This rule of the thirds refers to a rule of thumb, meaning it is at two horizontal lines and two vertical lines are intersecting each other. Don't forget to avoid splitting visual exactly in half with a horizontal line. And also, it is recommended to use graphs to present data, and whenever it is a text, use bold or thick plain typefaces to make it more readable. When it comes to text or lettering elements on the third guidelines, avoid using many different type of fonts or typefaces on the same visual, because the more using it, the more it is not readable and dili pud ta mga sukarapod no. And of course, italics, boldface, and underlining are color for emphasis. For example, if you are using if you are using a word or something it is important, you should highlight that. But the italics, it is recommend to use whenever the language of a sentence are using a code switching. For example, if a line sentence, the following of the sentence that you're using a vernacular, then the next word is non-vernacular, or in English, use italics. And of course, don't forget the boldface whenever if you want to highlight what is the meaning of the word. And use lowercase lettering, adding capitals only when normally required. Center the title at top of visual. Use short, concise, meaningful, descriptive titles that contain words. Take note of that. And spacing between lines should be 1.5 times word height. When it comes to color, use brightest and lightest color to focus attention on important elements, or same as like highlight at that text or the elements. And use lettering and visuals that contrast with background color. If you're using a light foreground, you should always use dark background, vice versa. And use consistent background colors in a series of visuals. Then of course, limit the number of colors on a visual. So the last one we have here is layout. Layout, when it comes to that, make sure that the visual as simple as possible. Not too much more excessive details and not too much more not much detail. So it should be, again, balanced. Make sure your visual appears as well as the balance or status quo. Use a horizontal format overhead, transparency, and slides. And lastly, use pleasing layout. Not too much a chaka layout or chararat layout. So that should be all for today. I hope you learned something in this guidelines of designing visuals. So goodbye everyone and have a great day.
Good day everyone! I am Erica May M. Magdalera, and for today's video, I am going to discuss the non-projected visuals. Non-projected visuals. These are visuals that do not require the use of equipment for projection. These are the most widely used media and mainly isolated in rural areas around the world. These allow instruction to move from abstract ideas to concrete experiences. Non-projected visuals are best in testing, demonstrating, and evaluating. Examples are drawings, sketches, maps, charts, graphs, diagrams, cartoons, posters, etc. The advantages of non-projected visuals. The first one is can be easily required or obtained. The second one is can be used without electricity. The third one is appropriate for those with low budget. The fourth one can be used without much artistic ability. And the fifth one is
can be used in different levels of instruction and discipline. And the last one is can be used to stimulate creative expression such as tell stories or writing a stories. The disadvantages of non-projected visuals are the first one is can be damaged easily with regular use. The second one is hard to store, and the last one is maybe too small for group viewing. And now, let's proceed to kinds of non-projected visuals. The first one is real objects or what we call realia. It is an ideal for introducing learners to new objects. It is the things that we come in contact with every day, and learners can use all the senses in using this visual. It is a solid and physical objects that can be brought into a classroom to be examined or observed. The best examples are rocks, stamps, puzzles, toys, fruits, etc. that are real objects. The second one is model. It may be a smaller or larger or the same size as the object it represents, and used to demonstrate something or explain a process or make a topic interesting. Model is a recognizable representation of a real thing that has three-dimensionally, that is height, width, depth is felt as reality. Examples are globes, heart models, solar system, skeletal system, etc. The third kind of non-projected visual is what we call mobile, a three-dimensional materials that are hung independently from the roof using fine threads. Example is the hanging solar system. That's all. Thank you everyone and keep safe.
Good morning, my name is Sophia Mayu. Picture, still pictures and graphics. There are photographic or photograph-like representation of people, place, and things. Photographic or photograph is an image that provide a detailed representation of something. Something can be of an object, scenario, person, animal, chart, or graph. Advantage: it can translate abstract idea into more realistic format. It is readily available in books, magazine, newspaper, catalog, etc. It is easy to use because it does not require any equipment. Limitation: some photographs are simply too small for use before a group. Still pictures are two-dimensional. Types of still graphic. Drawing includes sketches and diagram. Drawing are more complete and realistic. Sketches usually involve pencil to create figure or pictures. Stick figure competition are sketches. It is difficult to create as a preliminary to a drawing. Diagram are usually intended to show parts of an object, help explain process or how something works or how it is constructed. Charts, a visual symbol summarizing, comparing or constructing or performing other helpful service and explain subject matter. It is graphic representation of abstract relationship. It is designed to be shown to a class or group in the source of lesson. Chart is a sheet of information in the form like table, graph, or diagram. Type of chart. Organization chart show the structure or chain of command in an organization. The organizational chart. It is a diagram that shows the structure of an organization and the relationship and relative rank of parts and position or job. Next, classification chart is used to classify or categorize objects, event or species. Classification chart. It is organized information visual to compare related idea. Timeline. Illustrate the chronological relationship between events. They are most often used to show the historical event in sequence. Timeline. Less of event, it explains what happened during a certain period of time. Next, flowchart, also called a process chart, which show a sequence, a procedure, or a flow of process. It shows procedure or activity, usually in horizontal manner. The flowchart represent a workflow or process, a step-by-step approach to solving a task. Next, tabular chart. These are considered as tables that contain numerical information or data. The data are present in columns. A tabular chart is arranged in a table with row and column. It organizes information in row and columns. Graphs. These are visual representation of numerical data. They also illustrate a relationship among units of the data and trend in the data. Types of graph. Bar graph used for comparing similar items in different categories or groups. It's easy to read and can be used with elementary age students. Bar graph show the number in categories. Next is pictorial graph are represented by drawing instead of using numerical data. Pictorial graph is an image or symbol that represent an idea. Next is pie graph. Graph represent a whole where each part represent a percentage of the whole. Pie graph represent percentage at a set point in time, unlike bar graph and line graph. Pie chart do not show in change over time. Next is line graph are used in plotting trends that show increase or decrease in data over time. The line graph show change over time. Poster. These are visual combination of image, lines, color, and words. It is intended to catch the attention of the viewer to communicate a brief message. It conveys specific message, teach a particular lesson, or give a general idea. Poster is art with content of line, color, and abstract and word. Next, cartoons. It is the most common and popular visual to learners. These are root of real people, animals, and event cartoons appeal very well to learners of all age. Cartoons is a movie or a play that satisfy or get the attention of people in all age. All of us know cartoon cause this is a part of our childhood.
Good morning everyone, I am Hanina A. Katag. So this is the continuation of the report of Ma'am Yu. So the another kind of non-projected visuals is the maps, an accurate representation of the pane surface in the form of diagram drawn to scale. So ang gamit ng map is to show the geographical features of the Earth surface and to show relationship between places. So these are the types of maps. So first is the road map, physical map, topographic map, political map, climate map, resource map, and thematic map. So first is the road map, most commonly used map that is navigation. Second is the physical map, shows the landscape of features of a specific area such as lakes, mountains, and seas. So gamit ang physical map, makikita natin kung saang area ang merong mga mountains, lakes, and the seas. So next is the topographic map, almost the same as physical map but uses lines to show changes in elevation. And next is the political map. Shows the names and locations of important cities. This kind of map that is usually used by students for reference. And also we have climate map. Shows the information such as average rain or snowfall. This type of map usually used for weather reports. And next is the resource map. Shows the economic activities or resources that can be found in the particular area. And last is the thematic map. Shows a theme or topic in a particular area. It usually shows the average number of cloudy days, temperature range, and average rain or snowfall. So, yan po yung isa sa kinds of non-projected visuals. Kasi po, di ba, yung non-projected visuals is yan po yung tawag dito, walang ginagamit na mga equipments. So, which is yung mga pictures. So, ganun lang siya. So, yung map po is include po doon. So, kasi po, di ba, dati, sa unang panahon, is wala pang technology na nag-innovate talaga. So, 'di ba dati is mostly mga image lang yung material. So, which is yung map, example, yung map is yan po yung ginagamit para meron pong guide. So, for example, sa weather, 'di ba? So, kung saan banda yung tag-ulan or tag-init, so doon po nila i-base doon sa map. Yun po yung guide nila. So, ngayon is grabe na, nag-innovate na lahat. So, because of the technology, so ngayon is meron na tayong mapa sa cellphone natin, 'di ba? So meron ng GPS. So isang click mo lang, so makikita mo na yung lugar kung saan mo gusto puntahan. Makikita mo na yung isang lugar na dito pala is tag-ulan, so dito pala ito is tag-init. So because of the technology. But dati is wala talagang technology, kaya po yung map yung ginagamit. So yan po yung isa sa kind of non-projected visuals. So another kind of non-projected visual is field trip. So it is an excursion outside the classroom. Its objective is for students to have a first-hand experience and to encounter phenomena that cannot be brought into the classroom for observations and study. So in conducting a field trip, we must plan for have a clear purpose or objectives of the trip. Also must be prepared and conducting, so encourage students to observation and asking questions, and also follow up by sharing of experience, doing reports and projects. So yan po yung field trip. So di ba dati is because wala pa ngang technology, so doing field trip, so conducting field trips sa labas. So diyan po yun maka-observe ang mga students, yung mga estudyante, di ba, maka ng ibang environment. So for example, magpunta ng museum, so doon sila mag-observe, magpunta ng zoo, so doon sila makakita ng different animals. So dahil wala pang technology noon, so actual talaga yung pangyayari. So talaga, no, hands-on experience talaga. So ngayon is meron ng technology, so kahit nasa classroom ka lang at magpa-play lang yung teacher gamit yung projector, laptop, so para ka na ring nag-field trip sa labas. So makikita mo yung mga different kinds of animals, mga places, so because of the technology. But noon, wala pang technology, so field trip yung mga pangyayari noon. So ganun po siya. So the another kind is the blackboard. So it is the most common display surface in the classroom. So it can be used as surface to draw visuals to support verbal communication. So gamit ang blackboard is ito yung usually na ginagamit ng mga guro dati. So in elementary days, 'di ba? So meron yung mga blackboard. So doon yun sulat yung mga teachers to communicate, no? Doon nila isulat yung mga discussions nila. So but now yun na nga, because of technology, nag-innovate na lahat. So, gamit yung PowerPoint na lang, yung laptop, so makapresent na yung teacher. So, pwede na siya magturo. So, kagaya ngayon, 'di ba? So, wala tayo sa classroom. So, nandito tayo sa online class. So, yung teacher is mag-present siya ng PowerPoint at tayo is makakommunicate na din tayo sa teacher natin. So, because of the technology. But noon is wala nga. So, blackboard yung ginagamit. So, natin, diba? So, elementary days, diba, no? Yun yung ginagamit natin. At yun din sa, sa college, diba? Meron din yun. But, mostly sa college is PowerPoint, 'di ba? Na yung mga PowerPoint na. But dong elementary talaga is blackboard talaga siya noon. Nagsusulat talaga yung mga teacher noon. So, yun siya kasi wala pang technology noon. But now is sa innovate na lahat. So, because of digital, because of technology, easy na lang lahat yung mga gagawin. So, ganun po siya. And also, the multi-purpose board. So, it is a board that is used for several purposes such as for announcements of special events or occasions, reminders that things to do. So, it is also called as panel board. So, itong multi-purpose board is, ang gamit nito is for posting the mga announcements, yung mga occasions. So, yan yung gamit sa panel board. So, I don't know is meron pa ata ngayon yung mga panel board. But, dati is yun yung ginagamit kung meron bang mga announcement, mga reminders. So, doon po yun ilagay sa multi-purpose board or the panel board. So, ngayon is nag-innovate na lahat. So, grabe no. So, pwede ka na maka-announce. So, gamit yung cellphone mo. So, maglagay ka yan ng announcement. Diba? So, for now is, diba, sa ating GC, so, kung mayroong announcement, so, gamit yung cellphone, mag-announce yung teacher, so, isang click lang, so, maka-communicate na. But, dati is, using the panel board, doon yun nilalagay yung mga, lahat ng mga reminders, lahat ng mga announcements. So, yun lang po. So, that's end of my report. At, thank you po, and God bless.
This portion is brought to you by Dito Telecommunity Incorporated.
Good day, my name is Joy Nimihenes Tornalejo, and my report is still under the kinds of non-projected visuals. The other one is bulletin board. It is a surface used for decorative, motivational, and instructional. Ginagamitan ng pins and thumbtacks sa pagdikit ng kailangan ipadikit sa bulletin board. And there are 3 types of bulletin board. The first one is decorative bulletin board. It is used to create visual simulation to the environment. Ito ay usually makikita natin sa ating classroom way back in elementary. It really adds color to the classroom. And this is the example of decorative bulletin board. The second one is motivational bulletin board. It is used to display the achievement of the students and to reinforce their effort to do a good job. Dito nilalagay yung mga achievement natin, like sa school natin, doon nilalagay yung mga list ng dance lister wherein the students motivates to study hard. The third one is instructional bulletin board. It is used to support instruction. It is used to provide students with key information or as means of communication between several different stakeholders. Dito natin makikita ang schedule ng ating exams, meetings, yung mga ganap na program in a month, and yung date kung kailan walang pasok. The next one of non-projective visual is felt board. These are sheets or felt or board covered with felt on which movable displays can be produced by sticking shapes cut out or back with felt onto theme. This felt board helps a child to explore stories, to use their imagination, open up their creativity in shapes, colors, and objects. The next one is magnetic board. These are ferromagnetic display boards on which movable displays can be produced using materials that are made of magnetic materials or are fitted with small magnets. This magnetic board helps children to work as a team because this magnetic board is malaki where the children can work as together to their activity. They're excited to present their ideas using a resource like this because some of the magnetic materials are colorful and helpful. So as a teacher, you may find that they work harder than they would using pen and paper. The next one is flip chart. A chart that consists of series of large pieces of paper which are attached at the top and where are used to present information to an audience by turning over one piece of paper one at a time. Ginagamit ito way back in elementary days kung saan we can read, we can see pictures and symbols. Okay, the next one is exhibits. These are display of various objects and visuals designed to form an integrated whole for instructional purposes. It can be set up on table or shelf. Minsan, nakikita natin ito na naka-display sa library and mostly sa classroom natin. It helps us to collect knowledge, to develop, and to explore. Example nito ay yung mga artworks and sculpture. Okay, the next one is diorama. It is a static display consisting of three-dimensional foreground and a flat background to create a realistic one. Some of this is created by the students, depend on the concept or theme. You can use modeling clay, construction paper, miniatures like figures or furniture, found objects like rocks and twigs. It really helps the students to be creative and to help students understanding of a certain subject matter. That's all my report. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christian Pulsitir and I am assigned with the topic of projected visuals. Now, what is a projected visual? These are pictures shown on a screen using a projected device. Now, what is a projected device? Projected device, di ba mo man itong usually ginagamit nato sa offices like or especially sa school nato, mo na ginagamit nato for lectures. So there are different kinds of projectors. I'm just going to show you about the different kinds of projectors. Now, projected devices are the most common sight that you can find in the classroom. These devices benefit the teachers and the students most so that lectures will be easier. So, ginagamit nato ni siya sa ato ang school para ang ato ang lectures is makadali para bisag part back sa portion of the room is makakita para tanan is maka-catch up. So, the lecture will be a lot easier. There are two kinds of overhead projector. First is we have the reflective projector and second is we have the transmissive projector. I will discuss to you the reflective projector first. Now, the light source is located in the head of the projector. The light shines down into the reflective stage and then reflects back into the head of the projector and onto the screen. Next is we have the transmissive projector. Most widely used projector that can be found in many schools. It is the bulky, largest, and heaviest type of projector. Lastly is I'm going to discuss the slide projector. It is a projection device designed to be used with slides. Slides are small transparencies mounted in sturdy frames which are ideally suited to magnification and projection. So, mo na yan ginagamit usually sa una. This was invented, if I'm not mistaken, mga 1960s. These are commonly used for films.
Good day everyone, my name is Trojan Isuga and I am the last reporter of Group 2. I will discuss to you the opaque projector, LCD projector, reflective projector, and last, document camera. So let's start. Opaque projector. The first projector used as presentation device. It is used to project non-transparent materials or printed materials without having to convert them to another medium. So, opaque projector are typically used to project image or book page, drawings, mineral specimen, leaves, and etc. They have been produced and marketed as artist enlarging tools to allow image to be transferred to surfaces such as prepared canvas or for lectures and discourses. LCD projector, liquid crystal display projector. It is a modern equivalent of slide projector and OHP. It is a type of video projector for displaying videos, image, or computer data on a screen or flat surface. It is also considered as transmittive projector because light passes through the LCD panels rather than bouncing it away. So, LCD projector are more popular than many alternatives due the fact that they are cheaper to product and have excellent color reproduction. They are commonly used in business meetings, presentation, seminars, and also in the class. Reflective projector, a projector that uses mirrors to direct the light in an image. DLP, digital light processing projector, light emitting diode or LED projector in name for its light source. So, reflective projector or flat screen projector capable to projecting an image with enhanced contrast and a wide viewing angle in a presence of relatively high level ambient light and disclose along the projector system using the screen. And last, document camera. These are projected devices that can project objectives that are readily available in the classroom. So, document camera allows teachers to capture an area interest and use as content or pre-recording videos and live presentation. Document cameras magnify objects and make them easier to see on a student's mobile phone, a projector, and any computer that use to display an image. So that's all my report. God bless us all and thank you for listening.